Hi, and a very warm welcome to the Grassroots Weekender show. Welcome to Sunday's show. I'm Mal Lee, in case you just don't know. The seats are empty because we've got no guests in just as yet, but we will have over the weeks because I'm going to be out and about and finding these guests because we are obviously as going on to Fridays, Saturdays and now today's show. I've been talking to quite a few managers, getting some feedback, getting a few calls, getting some emails regarding all the admin and the costs of grassroots football at the moment. Yes, it's early days, we know, a couple of weeks into the season, but already teams are moaning about admin, teams are moaning about, or complaining, should I say, about the costs of training. And when the dark nights come in, which is very soon, what are we going to be doing for the kids? Where are we going to be training? Well, we have to look at that, don't we? We have to look at getting these kids on somewhere along the line because we just need better costs. I lost my words then. Better costs. Cheaper costs, maybe free football. And we need something to give these teams some hope by the end of the season. You watch, you see where I'm coming from. And I was out and about today at one of the, I thought was, well, one of the big leagues across Merseyside, and it was very thin on the ground, and I'm not too sure why, because Liverpool played yesterday. Everton are playing later on today. Normally you have quite a few there because it's not till later on kick-off, so all the grassroots football can be played. I just didn't know why there was less parents, spectators available today. It just seemed, I don't know, not as busy as what I thought. Anyway, let's just see what happens. Maybe it was just one of those things. Everyone's out Christmas shopping. 99 days, I'm still getting this on the radio, and people are going on about, have you seen all the shops? Yeah, I've seen the shops full of tinsel, Christmas things. I think it's a joke, a massive, massive joke at the moment. You know, you just got out of summer. We're just going out of summer, and they're hitting us with this, you know, that is stress in itself. Blimey, it's just a reminder that you're going to be skint very soon. Indeed, because kids want all the presents they can have and what you can afford, you know, and the stress comes with that as well, you know, because of what's happening with the families at the moment. And do you know, we've been talking about making grassroots football cheaper. Well, we're going to have a little campaign going ourselves very shortly, and it's called More Play, Less Pay. More play, less pay from Don't Cross the Line. We need you to support us. Get in touch with us, Mal at don'txtheline.com. And we're also going to be tackling all the admin that's putting pressure on many managers out there as well. And as I say, we're only 2 weeks into the season and managers can feel the pressure. And it's not, oh, it's easy just to fill admin in. You know, we just download it, fill in all your scores, all the referee marks. And we were talking to referees today regarding the referee marks, and I don't think that those referees are too happy as to what's going on either. Why should they be marked? Why should managers mark referees about their performance on the field of play? You know, are we trained in that? I don't think we are. I really, really don't. We can understand a few problems that may occur with the referee, but that could be down to nerves and not enough experience. Simple as that. But why should we all put this down? Why should we? Experienced referees, I don't want to be sitting there marking referees on what they did wrong. I did one last week because of it, and if you go on this full-time admin system, which I don't like myself, I think it's too much information, to be honest, and too much information on the whole game system, what you have to add as a secretary. Looking after your teams, and managers have got to do it in that as well, in their admin side of things. It's just not right. I really don't think so. You know, whatever happened to the days where we just picked the team, put it on the registration card, give it into the league and mark the referee at the end of it on performance. You know, do what you do with it. That's simple as that, you know. And if there was the committee got wind of someone trying to play a ringer, or they just come out with the sheet and done a team check. It was simple as that. So, you know, we all rely on honesty And that's as simple as that when it comes to these team registration forms. And to me, I'm as honest as the day when it comes to kids playing football. You just want teams to, it doesn't matter whether you're a world beater. Why should you take these world beaters and put you in the team? What is the point of it? It really isn't. You develop the team, you keep your team. Look at our under-8s, our under-7s, under-8s this last year. And they're doing very, very well. They've moved to grass now, and they're doing well, they're performing well. They've stuck together, they've been together for 12 months before they went into a league. Our under-7s, they've just got together in a matter of weeks, and they're playing games. They've lost 2 of the games. So what? The kids are developing, and I'm starting to see them as a team. I really am. And they've got to understand, 6 years of age, they'll come good. They'll realise what they need to do. Honestly, they will, and I can see it. And you know, the excitement is watching them develop from the word go, from scratch, you know, and they can come and watch our under-8s one day on performance and see, and sit there in the kits and watch them and just say, wow, could we be like that? Yeah, you can. You can. The kids have developed, and they're developing right the way through, and it's great to see, great to watch, and I'm just happy with you know, the team's performance. Whether you win, whether you lose, it's the kids who are enjoying themselves, and that's what I want to see. But we've also had to understand the situation with parents. We have to make sure that all our parents are okay within the team, and they're looked after in a sense of, are you okay? Are the kids okay to play? Can you afford it? It's horrible. How do you understand all that? The parents will not tell you these things, but you can see in some teams, and some managers talk to me and explaining to me that they know there's a problem. And one manager turned around telling me that he's paying loads out of his own pocket, which we all do. It just goes to show you what these coaches are, what these managers are. So why are we battering them with all kinds of admin and make sure that they have to complete that before they go and take this junior team out on the field of play to give them a game? That's what we're all in it for, isn't it? To give the kids a game. That's all we need to do. We don't need tons of admin. We really don't need tons of admin. You've got to understand that all the costs as well, because there's added pressure on managers, because some parents will talk to a manager, and that's why managers are the heart of gold. That's what they've got. Will dig into their own pocket and pay things for these kids just so they can play a game of football. You know, you've got to recognise where we're coming from here. And our appeal is more play, less pay, is for people to get involved with us, people to understand where we're coming from. We want to make sure from all walks of life, kids can go out and enjoy a game of football without having the added pressure of their mums and dads digging into their own pockets to pay more and more extreme prices for training, for football kits, for, you know, if you haven't got a sponsor, you're struggling. Some teams out there will say there's no problem to us because they've got the sponsors all over the kits. You've got to understand, have all these kids and teams got sponsors? No, they haven't. So you look at the managers and think, the bigger picture is that this manager is probably trying to make ends meet, put money in himself out of his own pocket. Parents doing spot the balls. Yeah, it goes without saying, fundraising, but the majority of these kids will not be going out into tournaments all over. They'll have 1 or 2, and maybe some of the kids will go into other teams to play tournaments, because that's how managers run them. But I think we all need to understand that not every child in your football team is going to be well off because mum and dad aren't working. They're scraping for weeks. You know, they might have 3 or 4 kids. Excuse me, it was the water before the show there. They might have 3 or 4 kids, so work out the cost and what the price is for those kids to go and order them to be involved in sport and activities. So if you've got 3 kids involved in football and 1 in Morris dance, say the girl, whichever it may be, it doesn't matter. It's a cost, it's a massive cost, and yet we've all done it right the way through the walks of life we have. But you've got to understand now, it's the cost of living, it's the price of food, it's the price of kids' uniforms. I've seen them, and you know, people are struggling. My own daughter mentioned to me the other day that she has to go to a certain place to buy her uniform. That is really, really unfair. She should have a right to go and have a choice and go and get it at a cheaper cost elsewhere. It should be, you know, I could take this up very easily, and I know quite a few places who do school uniforms as well as M&S. They're not allowed to buy them from there. They have to buy them from one certain store. Why? Because the school is making profit on the uniforms as well. What other excuse could it be? Why would you do that? Why would you have one point of sale? Doesn't make sense to me. Give the parents a choice. Let them go out and get the uniforms. Don't say you're just happy with this business saying, oh, they can do it properly, we're all happy with that. No, it doesn't. Think of the parents, like we're all thinking of the parents, and then you think of the children as well, because if the mums and dads have got the money in the pocket, then the kids are going to be okay. But if the mums and dads have not got the money in the pocket, then it's going to be a struggle for kids all over. We need to try and make a stance now. So more play, less pay. Get involved with us, mal@don'ttexttheline.com, from Don't Cross the Line. Also, www.don'ttexttheline.com. Get onto our website. Send me an email, mal@don'ttexttheline.com. Add me as a friend on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the social network sites. Managers, coaches, I appeal to you, and I know the coaches, I really do know the coaches who won't get involved, and I know why they won't get involved, but I won't say here, but let other people, guests, come in and tell me why they will not get involved in all this. You can all make your own mind up, but we can all have our say. You can come into the studio, sit down, talk with me, tell us if you've got ideas, to raise funding for the kids. Get involved with us. We want your support, we need your support. We want to make kids happy, make sure that the kids can afford games, not the kids afford games, but the mums and dads, and let's not let them feel left out. You know, I know firsthand what it's like to struggle to try and put money into kids' games and things like that, and I see it and I watch it and I walk around and I listen, and I do understand, I really do understand what you're all going through. And don't forget, you can get in touch with myself, Mal, if you're a mum, a parent, struggling, grandparent, struggling to get your kids into football. Let me know, mal@don'ttexttheline.com. We'll do something about it. We really will. We'll find you a team. We'll talk to the managers will talk to us. We'll try and get you involved in grassroots football. But the worrying thing is that many teams by the end of the year, because what I've just mentioned, Christmas, school uniforms, trying to afford school meals, you name it, everything that's building up on family, and the wages aren't going up if you're working, they really aren't. So families are struggling, they're cutting back on food, they're cutting back on bus fares, they're walking more, they're probably cutting back on car petrol because the price of that is scandalous. Everything is just going through the roof, and there's no excuse for it. Don't blame Brexit, don't blame the pandemic, it's nothing to do with that, but people, businesses are making it a total excuse and saying, wow, look at the price, we can hike this up. They're making thousands, loads of money, and we have to follow suit, and people have to put their subscriptions up for the kids' football, and then you look, and they're all talking about the cost of living, the energy prices, where they're all saying, we have to put the hubs up now because of the electric prices. They don't use that. They really don't use that in the daytime, so they're saving a packet. The night time, they'll have no kids on there because the prices have gone extreme, to be honest. 206, 204 per hour. Also, the admin fees for the pitch fees for a quarter of a pitch. That was a full pitch, by the way. Quarter of a pitch is £51 to £54. Yes, they will do costs out of peak times, like the buses, but people can't make it out of peak times. They really can't. We need to structure, we do. And then you've got the courses for managers, where you've got your safeguarding to counter your fees, then you've got your DBS checks, then you've got your welfare officers, then you've got all these courses that they need you to go on. And they're going to make safeguarding mandatory next year. Fantastic. I love all that and the DBS checks. But why should not we have one DBS check for all? Why should we not? If I work in support work and social health care, people, all these nurses, doctors who need to get involved in football, who want to get involved in football, and they say, you need a DBS check, you need your safeguarding certificate. There was a few courses where it was free or discounted. Now they're all going up, and I think if you need to go on a safeguarding course, it's £30 to go on this, and you do it online. You can all say, yeah, wow, to put these together is just unbelievable. But come on, where's the funding to get these people who want to give these kids a game of football using their own time, voluntary time? Where is the time for them to say, do you know what? I think we need some sort of funding here to make sure that these courses are free, to make sure that these hubs are very highly discounted and affordable prices. People look at it as a team and go, it's only so much per player, it's only so much per team. Yeah, but what else have they got on top of that? Don't be telling me, yeah, it's only £1 per week, it's only this. What else are those parents paying out for? You can't, you've got to budget things in perspective, keep everything together. Teams can afford it because some people have great jobs. Teams can afford it because they have great sponsors. We've got sponsors, we're lucky enough, but it doesn't mean to say that those kids can still play, because the sponsors just pay for our kids. They don't give you hundreds of pounds to put into your coffers so you can look after the teams, you can have a funding source. We've got big plans, we really have, and we're lucky to have Dan Carden, that's my local MP, and no doubt more MPs will follow suit and get on board with us as well, because what we're trying to achieve is achieve not the impossible, the possible, about trying to cut prices in grassroots football, make it more affordable, make it more the people can approach it and say, can I get involved in this? Because people have come to me and said, what do you need to get involved in kids football? You need your DBS check, you need your safeguarding, you need this, you need that, blah, blah, blah. And they're looking and saying, how much is that going to cost me? Because I can't afford it. And the club can't put the money in to pay for them. So you're losing out on volunteers who are being charged to go and look after some kids because they've got the DBS, the safeguarding, to make sure that those kids are safeguarded, because we all have a duty of care. Whether you're a parent, whether you're a coach, whether you're a manager, if you've got a team of kids, you have a duty of care. And my duty of care is for everyone at the moment, because I feel for teams who are struggling to get players on board because their mums and dads cannot afford what the cost of grassroots football. And we do have leagues with thousands of pounds in their coffers, we do. So why cannot we make affiliation cheaper to that league? Because I think if you go into a league, you become a member, so what you pay into that league becomes your money. So it's all the members' money, and then you have officials in the league, but you've got officials telling you where they're spending that money and how they're saving that money. And I'm not against leagues in a million, I'm not at all, but you've got to understand we're all demanding money off these teams, otherwise you don't play. You don't play if you don't pay your affiliation fees. And if you've got thousands of pounds, and if you're a new team, yeah, it's great, okay, the new teams, let's charge the new teams until they get used to the system. But these teams that are really putting teams in and keeping the leagues going year in, year out, let's give discounted prices heavily. Even if you can make everything free, if you get funding, make the affiliation free for the teams. Football would be brilliant if we could have free football. And we're going to call on the likes of Liverpool, yet Everton to get behind us. This campaign is to try and support every child that is involved, boy and girl, whoever you may be, whatever you're doing, playing football. We want to support you, we want to help you, we want to get you involved in grassroots football. We want to make a team, a real team, smiling day in, day out, taking all the verbal abuse away from the game and the aggressive behaviour, making parents understand that it's about the kids' enjoyment, and making leagues and making all these governing bodies understand that without managers and coaches you wouldn't have teams, you wouldn't need referees, you wouldn't need leagues, because the managers and coaches need to be recognised and they need to be supported, because they're not there to give their time away free, which they are getting used on. If I went to a big company and said, there's 100 volunteers, they'll do your work for nothing today, what would those companies say? They'd love it. But why don't they do it? Why don't they do it? There must be a reason behind it. But why can the governing bodies have thousands of volunteers right across the country doing their work with no pay? How can they get away with this? I think we need I need a meeting to find out what we can do to support our managers and coaches. If we don't do it, you'll see a lot more teams folding. Because I, for one, I'm not going to be interested doing all this admin, because it really is wrecking my head. It's not about being easy. It's not about being, oh, that's only, you know, only takes you 2 minutes. 2 minutes of my time. I've got a lot more to do. I've got work. I've got full-time work. So don't tell me it's all about my time. You can make time. It's very quick time. I need my time. It's important to me. And should someone turn around and say, if you don't do that, we're fining you, you've got to take your seat back and realise, well, hang on, we are exploiting these managers and coaches. We really are. It's becoming slave labour. Money for nothing. You know, I think the majority of managers and coaches out there, if they were getting some sort of fee, would put it back into that team. And that is some sort of fundraising. They're saving the team's money, saving the mums and dads and grandparents money. Then the teams are going to be more profitable, and the leagues will be more profitable. Everyone in grassroots football will be happy. We've got big plans, supporters, more play, less pay. Get involved with us. Please get in touch with myself now at DXTL.com. Okay, we've had 3 days of all this. Get behind us. Let us know your thoughts. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people getting in touch with me by this week. In the meantime, thank you very much for tuning in to us. Well done to Liverpool for coming back against Wolves. And well done to all the teams who performed this weekend as well. And Everton, well, let's see what happens over the next few weeks. In the meantime, thank you for tuning in to the Grassroots Show. I'm Mal Lee, your host for this evening. So we'll be back again on Friday, hopefully with our young commentators. In the meantime, put your feet up, relax, and we'll see you on Friday evening. For myself, Mal Lee and all the team at the Grassroots Show, Don't Cross the Line, Respect Programme, No Ref, No Game, Heart of Gold Initiative, and Respect. We'll see you. And Don't Cross the Line, we'll see you on Friday. Good night, God bless.